The shouting crowds. Everybody wanting to take their picture with the dark figure in the center of a sea of people. But who is this man? A movie star or a sportsman? No. This muscle-bound man with the shaved head and jet-black bushy beard is the most well-known Shiite militiaman in Iraq, a tough fighter whose name is Abu Azrael, aka the Islamic Death Angel. He has amassed thousands of fans and uses an axe, a sword, and a machine gun, and his on-the-field antics are just as renowned as his battles with the Islamic State. Watch the video till the end as we tell you everything about the story of the Iraqi Rambo, Abu Azrael. Early days. Abu Azrael's real name is Ayub Fali Hassan al-Rubai, and he was born in 1978. Before joining the militia, he worked as a physical education instructor at an Iraqi university and was proficient in both firearms and taekwondo. However, he made the decision to leave his job and became a fighter to defend the Iraqi people when they were attacked. He started off as a straightforward individual who just wanted to combat Daesh, the Arabic abbreviation for ISIS, and has risen to become an Iraqi commander in the popular crowd of the Khatib al-Imam Ali, an Iraqi Shia military force of the Popular Mobilization Forces that is against ISIS in Iraq. Meanwhile, in addition to all of this, he is also a father to 5 children in between his ruthlessness towards ISIS fighters. The First Wars. He reportedly started fighting in 2003 as a member of the Mahdi Army, a Shiite clerics militia that opposed American troops in Iraq. He was just a soldier in Muqtada al-Mahdi Sadr's army, but the effect of that war was so much that he adopted the name of Abu Azrael because he thought that the angel of death confronts a bad person with violence, and he intended to confront those terrorists in that way. Along with that, he has fought ISIS in a dozen different locations, and his experience predates the current fight by a great deal. Additionally, he also fought Syrian rebels who were attempting to topple President Assad close to Damascus. Although he has battled against other extremist organizations as well, most of his fights have been fought against ISIS. The nightmare of ISIS. During those days, the militias were credited with preventing the militant organization from taking over Baghdad, but many people feared the return of the Shiite death squads that carried out reprisals against Sunnis during the sectarian bloodletting in 2006-2007. Shiites back then had a different hero in the form of Shiite paramilitary commander Abu Dara. Abu Dara was nicknamed the Shiite Zarqawi, in allusion to the Jordanian-born Sunni leader of al-Qaeda in Iraq, who planned deadly suicide bombs against Shiites because of his raids on Sunni districts and his propensity for drilling holes in the heads of Sunni detainees. In the coming years, Abu Azrael's hate for ISIS grew even more, so much so that he became the nightmare of the terrorists of the Islamic State. The moment of glory. The Shiite vigilante who started using weapons saw his moment of glory when the town of Tikrit was liberated from ISIS jihadists. He represented optimism for a large portion of the Iraqi populace, and politicians who lacked credibility wanted to be seen with him. And when he visits the regular army, the troops started to take pictures with him. However, the Iranian and Lebanese Hezbollah-trained Iraqi Rambo was also a member of a group sponsored by Tehran that Amnesty International charged with war crimes. He threatened to turn the jihadists of the Islamic State group into dust, a statement that inspired a large portion of the Iraqi populace. This got him very famous, and this was announced, chanted, and repeated in the streets of Baghdad for many years to come. Iraqis started to regard Abu Azrael as a hero. Everyone in the street knew the militiaman since his likeness can be found on t-shirts being sold in Baghdad marketplaces. The online presence. Baghdad's collapse in 2003 gave rise to a vast array of folk heroes, or as most other people call them, terrorists. All of this started when the original inspiration behind American Sniper, Nizar al-Jaburi, who was famously called the Baghdad Sniper, was connected to the Islamic Army in Iraq. This sniper recorded the deaths of his targets while also shooting at American forces, and the rebel organization uploaded a number of videos, one of which had a first-person shooter video game perspective from the sniper's sniper site. With huge interest in this kind of video from all over the world, the rebel organization realized that it was not his kills but his production value that gave him his legendary status. So, similarly after him, the Angel of Death's appearance in cyberspace made massive headlines, as he symbolized a larger Shia cyber narrative that developed following the advent of ISIL. So much so that a channel on YouTube started videos that attracted hundreds of thousands occasionally millions of views, and his Facebook pages have well over 300,000 likes. Azrael's Facebook profile features images of him brandishing swords, wielding axes, and even abusing the bodies of ISIS members. He mocked and taunted Sunni radicals online, claiming to have eliminated them in large numbers using an armament worthy of any video game enthusiast, including a scoped rifle and hand grenades. His account appears to be appealing in part because of the apparent contrast between his experiences on the battlefield and his otherwise unremarkable upbringing. The majority of Abu Azrael's Facebook fans are Iraqis, but Iranians have also expressed a strong interest in him, sharing images and joking that despite his intimidating exterior, he is actually a kind and funny person. Online images and a video often depict Abu Azrael waving and grinning as he pedals past what appear to be combat areas. With a sizable social media following, he has emerged as a public figure representing Shia Iraqis' resistance to ISIS in that country. His tagline and credo is "Ala Tahin," which may be translated as "until or into dust" or "grind you to dust." Moreover, a video of him using a caught walkie-talkie to mock ISIS militants became quite famous. One of his supporters even made a cartoon depicting Abu Azrael beating a man into flour as a metaphor for the punishment he vows to inflict on his enemies in combat, in addition to garnering recognition in the Middle East. By the spring of 2015, he had also made front-page appearances on international news websites in England, France, and the US. The attack on Sunni. A few years back, a number of gruesome films of Shia rebels committing crimes surfaced, including one in which fighters mock and taunt a murdered body, while another shows them striking a Sunni civilian in the head with an axe. Human Rights Watch charged Shia fighters and Iraqi government forces with atrocities in dozens of Sunni villages in northeastern Iraq, forcing hundreds to flee their homes. This was also the time when a video surfaced which showed a prominent Iraqi commander of the Shia military, aka Abu Azrael, slicing the burned body of a guy he claimed as an ISIS warrior. This video was apparently shot in Beiji, a northern oil refinery town where Iraqi forces supported by Shia militias are fighting ISIS. This was also the area where Abu Azrael's imam, Ali Brigad, was fighting. According to Abu Azrael, the video was recorded in Albu Hishme, a Sunni neighborhood 45 miles north of Baghdad, that saw fierce fighting between members of his brigade and the Islamic State in December and January. The infamous video. As the Beiji video went online, it garnered massive criticism, and the hashtag Sunni burned and slashed with sword trended on Twitter. Consequently, Abu Azrael was eager to defend his actions. The commander apologized for the video's publication and mentioned that he has just burned a body of an Iraqi Sunni guy in Beiji. He responded to everything in a video of his own by the title, "Would I burn a Sunni man?" Azrael claimed that after occurrences in which he was caught on camera desecrating the remains of ISIS militants, a leading imam in Najaf advised him to make amends and refrain from doing such a thing in the future. Then at Tahrir Square in Baghdad in October 2019, he was brutally attacked until he was rendered unconscious by outraged Iraqis. The bad time for him continued as he contracted COVID-19 in 2020 and experienced severe lung damage. A Sunni insurgency that has appeared under various guises, such as Al-Qaeda in Iraq and the Islamic State in Iraq, has long been fought by the Iraqi government and Shiite militias. Whatever their designation, the militants are frequently referred to as terrorists in pro-government media. However, Abu Azrael uses alternative language to refer to his adversaries, because he hated the fact that it included members of different faiths, like Yazidis and non-combatant Sunni tribesmen. Sectarianism. Whatever the truth about the specifics of his life, Abu Azrael's tale is important because it sheds light on the propaganda apparatus of the Iranian neighbor. Many people are alarmed by the enormous number of Shia warriors like him present in Tikrit, which is located in the heartland of Iraqi's Sunni Muslim population. There are concerns that the presence of the fighting forces, some of which are said to have ties to Iran, could further destabilize the area. And despite the fact that Sunnis are the target of this deadly strike, Assad denies claims that he is inciting sectarianism. Abu Azrael himself is also adamant that he abhors sectarianism, and that he and his militia allies are holy warriors, protecting the oppressed from those who would murder and plunder in the name of Muslims. As Abu Azrael's notoriety has increased, he has been adopted as a symbol by his militia allies, who now cheer him on whenever he participates in combat. Well, that's it for today's video. We hope you enjoyed the content of the video. If you did, show some love and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss out on any of the amazing videos we have in store for you.